Everyone. It's Lianka, the Content Marketing Manager here at Secured Signing. And I'm delighted today to be interviewing one of the major users and promoters of Secured Signing, the co-founder of AZ Roving Notary, Suzanne Feinberg. So welcome, Suzanne. I'm excited to hear all about your comments and feedbacks about the Secured Signing remote online notarization platform. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here. Why don't you ask me some questions and I'll be very happy to answer them.
Well, right. So right off the bat, so let's start with the first question. For how long have you been using Secured Signing platform?
So Arizona was slated to do remote online notarization in July of 2020, but when the pandemic came around earlier in April, the governor of Arizona decided to issue an emergency order. So I was in the first 100 notaries to become commissioned as a remote online notary. I started using another platform because I wasn't aware that secured signing was actually available to me. And it was one of the only platforms at the time for independent notaries. But when I became aware of secured signing, I needed a second platform as a backup platform. So I started, I think it was in June of 2020, but very rapidly that became my primary platform.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. Thanks for that. And then also, I would like to know what kind of documents do you notarize online?
Okay, so we are general notaries. So our work does not include loan signing packages. However, sometimes we do what I call pickup jobs. And we do that for title companies that have one or two documents that weren't notarized properly in a wet signing.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that for some title companies. But our real meat and potatoes are generated from estate planning law firms, corporate legal documents. And we like these companies because it provides us with steady work, not really requiring a lot of marketing because they give us repeat business over and over. And it helps with fewer firms that give us more business. It helps us generate and meet our revenue goals. And finally, we get a lot of leads from our website, azrovingnotary.com, our Google business page, and our LinkedIn account. And the documents off of those tend to be one-offs such as power of attorneys, travel documents from minors, and documents that have to be notarized and apostilled. And those are really great because they take 5 minutes to do on your platform. So we like those, even though the income isn't as much as some of the other jobs, but they're very quick, so they're very profitable.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thanks for that. I also wanted to know how many signers during one session have you had in one time?
Okay, so it's very dependent on the work that we get from our clients. So in the case of a full estate package, we may have 22 documents with 2 signers, 2 witnesses. They also do signings, and an observer such as the lawyer or the financial planner, and of course our notary. On corporate documents, we may have 4 signers, 2 from the company, 2 from their client, and the corporate attorney just viewing the session, and of course the notary. But on average, most sessions are 1 or 2 signers. But from what I understand, we could have 10 or 15, and it would be just as easy as just a matter of tagging the documents for the signers.
Oh, well, that's great to hear everything's working so smoothly and knowing that everything is working faster and the customer experience is just overwhelming. That's great to hear. So I would also like to know, what do you like about Secured Signing's remote online notarization platform?
The portal to the exact features that I use most frequently. And then if I have to change or tweak 1 or 2, that's fine. And I'm always checking for new features because sometimes secured signings will sneak a new feature in ahead of their announcement for me to test out. So I really love this setup of the system. And as a small business, costs are very important to us. And it's nice that each transaction, I'm only paying for the features that I use with a maximum ceiling of $50. But my average cost for a signing is usually between $9 and $14, so it makes it easier to earn a higher profit. I love the Notary Wizard. It allows me to move right through the necessary steps without having to think too much about what to do next, and therefore I make fewer mistakes. Fewer mistakes is a happier customer.
Oh, well, talking about features, love to hear them. So what is your favorite feature in the Secured Signing One platform?
Okay, so again, I never have just one favorite because everything is so different that each feature gives me something really great to work with. But my favorite feature is the one that I suggested to the secured signing team, and I love that they listen to suggestions from their notaries. I found that if something happened during the session and I needed a journal note, that once the session started, I wasn't able to add anything to the journal. And in one of their enhancements, they actually added the journal feature so that any point in the process, before the session, during the session, or after the session was completed, the notary could make a note in the journal. So for instance, if I have to stop a session and somebody has to totally change out their documents, it's not what they thought they were or whatever, and I didn't complete the session, I still like to put a note into the journal that, the session was ended. And then when I start the new session, if I've already gone through ID verification, I like to put a note in the journal that immediately preceding this notarization was the ID verification, and I checked the ID verification manually in this new session. So that to me is my favorite feature.
Oh, that's great to hear. I have one more question. Well, a few more. How did our platform change the way that you do business?
Oh, tremendously. So I originally thought I was just going to be a notary and I was just going to do, notarizations of car titles or individual documents for people. But as they added features over the years, I realized there were many ideas I could implement to earn additional revenue using the platform. So I love to recommend and use my referral code to other notaries who want to start using the platform. And sometimes I have a law firm where they want to switch doing the notarizations to in-house. And I never mind that. That's fine. I give them my referral code and I earn a nice commission on everything they use in the platforms. And I noticed that while I was doing this on all the different social media platforms out there, I noticed many notaries couldn't figure out how to be a remote online notary. They had no idea where to start. They didn't even know how to be a notary, much less. So I started a course called The 7 Steps to a Successful Notarization. And in that course, I used secured signing as the demonstration platform, which of course I sold the course and I sold the referral link. So that was really good for me. And it's currently on hold for updates and it should be running again in September of 2024.
So that sounds all tremendous. Thank you very much for sharing all your thoughts and comments. So in closing, I have one last question for today. What is your personal thoughts about secured signing?
I have a lot of thoughts. I've always felt that Mike Eyal, is that how you pronounce his last name? Yeah, the owner of the company, the CEO, has always been there, listening to the notaries to improve the platform. I think it's very important to him to have the best platform, the most secure platform, a platform that's affordable to use, and very good features that make it available to all different types of notaries and signers. And so I think that they've always made it more efficient. They create opportunities for the notary to keep more of the revenue in the notary's pocket. So that part of it I really like. And having had the opportunity to use 5 other platforms that are very specific to independent notaries, and that's who I talk to, are independent notaries. Secure signing is really the most secure and trustworthy platform to choose as a primary platform.
Oh, well, great, Suzanne. Thank you very much for sharing all your thoughts. I deeply do appreciate your time in doing this with us. And so, Suzanne, thank you very much for this. I am looking forward to having a few more conversations with you in the next few months. So thank you once again and chat to you soon.